Hello, my name is Penny Locke, and I'm a trainer with All About Canines. You can find my website at www.allabout-canines.com. So I've been putting together a video series of things that I consider to be absolutely core, that means really important, when it comes to living and working with dogs. Sometimes it's, you do live with a dog, and other times it's you go to stay with someone who has a dog. And knowing these tips and tricks really will just keep you safe. It will improve the rapport you have with that dog, or with your dog that you live with. So, good stuff here. Today, I'm going to talk about the walk. Now, truly, I could talk for half an hour, but I'm trying to keep these videos really short. So I'm just going to talk about two portions of the walk. And the first one I consider just to be probably the most valuable, and that's the mindset. And I'm talking about your mindset when you're taking your dog for a walk. I want you to shift it from I'm taking the dog for a walk to I'm going for a walk. Would you like to come too? Addressing the dog, that is. So that your mindset basically shifts to owning the walk. What I find, both personally and then when I do consultations with clients, is that when they take ownership of the walk, meaning it's my walk with the dog, that they feel more confident, they're more relaxed, they're not so hesitant in what they're going to be doing when they're out on the walk. And all of that has to lead to a better experience and, of course, a better experience for the dog. So if you go out there on a walk and perhaps you're even grumpy and you don't really want to be on the walk, then you're starting off on the wrong foot, if you will. The dog's going to pick up on that and it'll probably go south from there. So honestly, if you're not feeling in the mood, I would leave the dog home and go for a walk on my own because I need a little bit of chill time, and come back and maybe try taking the dog for a walk another time. So mindset, that's the first step. The next part of this is equipment. And I see a lot of people walking their dogs, which is a wonderful thing. And of course, we're doing much of that at the moment when we can. Equipment is very important for the comfort of the dog, for the comfort of the person walking the dog, and for a degree of control of the dog. I'm not a big believer in choke chains and prong collars, those sorts of things. I would rather work with a dog to get them to be cooperating with me so that I don't have to use those types of collars. So I've chosen to work with harnesses, and I really like a front clip harness. I have had my Borzoi on a front clip harness. I've also had my Shepherd and, well, all my dogs on a front clip harness. I do have one harness that's from Norway and it clips on the back, but it also has a fastening, if you will, in the front, so I can use it as a front clip harness, although it wasn't technically made for that. But I really like those. They are to a point built to cause the dog to be turned if it pulls ahead of you. It doesn't stop them from pulling you per se, but it does cause them to shift the actual body of the dog moves to the side rather than moving forward when they pull. Anyway, as I say, I could talk about this for half an hour, but I want to just talk about a few things so that you have something to grab a hold of and to go with today. So the harness I love, and they make harnesses in all different sizes. So from obviously from all different sizes, mean they're going from the wee small dogs fit on your lap to Great Danes and beyond. So actually, is there a beyond a Great Dane? Anyway, very large dogs. So I guess Irish Wolfhound would qualify, wouldn't it? And then the leash. So I am not a fan of extender leashes. These are the ones which have sort of a cord that go into a mostly a plastic handle, sort of a rather like your vacuum cleaner. They sort of go into a holder, and then you can extend it out to give your dog more space to go do his thing. I'm not keen on those. I've actually had one wrap around my ankle. It wasn't mine, it was somebody else's, and the dog was just milling around and got me wrapped up around the ankle, and that hurt. It will cause a nasty burn, so not recommended for that. And also, for me, when I'm walking a dog or walking my dogs, I want to have a connection with my dog. Remember, it's my walk with the dog rather than the dog's walk. So I want us to have kind of a rapport as we're going along having a walk. If my dog is off doing its own thing over there on an extender leash, I would say that that's not exactly, they're not exactly conscious of you. I mean, yes, they're on the end of the leash, and if you're in an area where there are leash laws, then obviously you're complying with that. But as far as the relationship with the dog and having a relationship on the walk, I think that's absent there in my opinion. So I would rather use a flat leash. And you can get these corded leashes, these sort of rope leashes. I like those. And then a flat leash is, fell on the ground, but I have a cotton leash here. It's a training leash. It's technically a training leash. They come in different lengths. I think a good one to start out with is a 6-foot training leash like this. You can get them online, of course. Some of the shelters and humane societies and such, they'll sell them in their shops, and so those are good. But of course now we're doing most of our shopping, if you will, that is not considered essential to be online. So take a look for a cotton training leash. So those are my standards, those are my go-tos, and we can get into the other types of collars another day. But I would be, so for example, I have a Borzoi, and even with my Borzoi who are no longer with me, I always had them wear a harness because they have a very long neck, and the damage that can be done to the trachea through the collar, to me, wasn't worth it. And so I just avoided collars for them. So that's the scoop. Although, you know, they do really well on the harnesses. So you're taking advantage, of course, of the strongest part of the dog, the chest and the back area, you know, the upper back. So it's really strong, and so that's good. And it probably feels really comfortable if it's well fitted. I will leave information in the description of this video of the company that makes the harness that I like in particular. It's much more affordable in the USA than it is to get here in the UK. But if you're interested in getting one, let me know, because I have sources for getting them, and I might be able to help you get one for a better price. So thank you for listening to me today. I hope you've enjoyed these tips on walking with your dog. A very happy Easter to you, and thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you at the next video. All right, take care. Bye.